All right, my friends, today is October the 28th. It is Monday, a couple hours into the New York session. Let's do the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with the events talk. So we have the event of the utmost importance coming up next week. That is going to be the U.S. elections. So I wanted to start off with a little bit of rant about the elections. I've been talking about this on my outlooks and streams and stuff a lot recently. But I just wanted to touch base on this topic and let you know what my expectations are. So first thing that I want to let you know is that I think that basically all the flows that we're going to see this week are going to be speculation or de-risking in some form around what's going to happen next week. So paying very close attention to who's buying and selling on spot is going to be really important. The next key point I want to make on this topic is going to be around liquidity. I would strongly expect that liquidity should dry up this week, because why would market makers take on the risk going on to the event, especially as we get close to November 5th? I think that liquidity is going to really dry up. So the combination of people opening and closing positions, gambling around the elections with low liquidity means that there's going to be a lot of volatility. So one of my big theses going into the next week and a half is going to be looking for a fuck you move to capitalize on. So if you're interested in gaining access to the spaghetti template and learning how to properly utilize it, you should consider joining the Paragon group. So let's go ahead and move on and get into a little bit of higher time frame talk. So look at this chart and it looks fucking incredible, right? The only negative thing that you could say is it's at the most significant resistance, right? This region around 60 to 70K is the most important resistance on the chart. I have patiently waited for us to be bullish in Q4. And I really think that the markets are just patiently waiting for the election to be over before that risk taking starts to occur. So structurally, this looks phenomenal for it to break out here. I am absolutely prepared for a fuck you move. I don't have insane risk on in the, with dog shit coins and stuff like that. I'll talk about that later in the video, but it's just a matter of, are we going to break out, now, or do a fuck you move and kind of have a pullback first? Predicting that kind of stuff is stupid. I think that the election increases the likelihood of a fuck you move, but basically how I'm looking at it is it's win-win. Either we break out from here and then I buy some, more degenerate risk higher, or we do a fuck you move, people get liquidated and I buy into that. It really is win-win for me. My net positioning is obviously long on my portfolio. I'm just not in the dumpsters with meme coins and stuff, just playing large caps only for now. That's basically going to be it for the higher time frame. No major changes, patiently waiting. Okay, medium time frames, right? So obviously we have this multi-month composite structure. We're on our 8th month now. From the anchored VWAPs, I mean, this looks phenomenal the way that we're, retesting the anchored VWAP from the swing low. This looks really good, compressing into the highs. That was one of the things I talked about. A lot of the times the way that Bitcoin breaks out is it triangles its way up into the resistance, right? You'll have a lot of thick asks up here, which is definitely the case right now. Spot is absolutely defending 70K with vigor. So if we continue to compress into those highs, especially if we were to get an election fuck you move and then come back up into that region, that's what most likely a breakout will look like for us, is compression, low vol into a fuck you move into trading up. There is a scenario where we just trade up. I've been talking about the probabilities of this a lot recently, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I think us just breaking out is the lowest or one of the lower probabilities. Us doing a fuck you move definitely seems like the most likely of scenarios. Okay, so as far as medium time frame goes, like I just said, you're essentially just waiting for us to survive the election day, 70K or whatever you want to call it, 69K, 70K. This is the battle zone. If we see an impulse out, above that, that's going to be a clear trigger to go fully risk on. The way that volatility has been compressing, right? I mean, this range is clearly just printing a fat triangle, so that's definitely what we want to see. I mean, overall, compression leads to expansion. That's one of those, cliche rules that I used to always teach, and price is getting really tight right now, so expansion is upon us. I really think that the market's just waiting for the elections to be over for that to begin. So there's really not a whole lot else I want to spend on the medium time frame. I think that it looks phenomenal. I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself and be overly optimistic, because when the chart looks like this, it's really easy to just go a little bit retarded with it and be overly confident, and overconfidence is one of the worst things that we can have as a trader. So talk about alts a little bit. So most alts, I mean, pretty clear right now. Not good for most alts. A lot of alts have actually just gone outright bearish recently. So I actually reworked my altcoin list this morning, and I was kind of disturbed by what I saw. So out of what actually looks good, Solana is your benchmark that looks good other than Bitcoin, right? Solana is bleeding out right now because everything is, but Solana is still going to be, I absolutely intend for Solana to continue to be the backbone of my portfolio, and be what ETH used to be essentially. So yeah, I mean, the TLDR on altcoins is not good. Not good at all. Okay, and active trading. So what is active trading going to look like for me going into this week and next week? So in short, I don't really think it's plus EV to be over here focused on intraday trading. If I really got bored, maybe I would trade Bitcoin, but I don't think that that's really where my attention is going to be best spent. My main focus is going to be around paying close attention to the watch list and observing spaghetti. I'm going to be watching Bitcoin flows extremely closely right now because that's going to be the only thing that's going to give us any real insight into what's likely to happen over the next week or two. So paying close attention to, does it look like obvious signs of distribution, or does it look like somebody's actually intent on buying at these levels, right? So I'll be watching Bitcoin very closely going into the election, and then once the election's over, I think that we're off to the races and we trend upwards. That's pretty much it for me this week. I mean, this is one of the most important moments in our trading careers, right? If you look back at what's happened in the past, I'm not saying that we're just going to fractal it, but it basically lines up perfectly with my plan, having this event at this key point in the trend. So yeah, I mean, survive, and we can only hope that the plans that we have materialize. If that's the case, then it's probably going to be one of the last big cycles that I actively trade in this way. Again, that's assuming that it plays out how I'm hoping. So anyways, good luck out there. I would urge you guys to all be focused up, and we were falling asleep at the wheel during the summertime, and that was fine, but now's the time to be putting in all that extra effort and hoping to get rewarded for it. So good luck out there, and cheers.